Hey guys, it's Quickie Baby. I'm bringing you something very exciting. These are the entries into my latest competition, which you had the opportunity to win 25,000 gold, irrelevant of what region you're in. So I'm going to be showing you a few replays from the heavy bracket before I show you the winner. This is going to be, the next two videos are going to be runners-up, so to say, or what I prefer to say, honourable mention. We're going to call these honourable mentions from now on. You are watching a gentleman whose name for my tongue is unpronounceable, HGJWZ. So we're just going to call you HG, or you know, your new name is going to be Heavy Guy. I'm going to call you Heavy Guy from now on. So anyway, Mr. Heavy Guy, you're playing in the T34, and you certainly know how to play the T34. I've watched this video, I was very impressed by it. That's why this is going to be the first honourable mention in the Heavy series. Now immediately, you'll be seeing that he's playing on Malinovka, and he's in a 42%er. So, already, according to the statistics, this game is weighted against him. However, he's not going to let that hamper him down. He fires a clutch shot there into a tier 6 medium tank, which was being a very aggressive scout. And immediately, Heavy Guy is thinking, alright, how can I get the best of this situation? He fires fairly clutch there into the T34 and takes a meaty hit from him. So at the moment, they are outnumbered on the hill. I'm just going to zoom out so I can show you. Actually, the numbers are fairly even. Actually, they're slightly outnumbering them, but the numbers will increase later on. Another fantastic shot there, and they take the T34 out. So my World of Tanks crashed, but I'm back in. Splice the videos together. So, Heavy Guy is thinking, alright, I need to change the engagement. So what he's done now is he's basically totally changed the angle that the enemies have to fight at. Not only are they having to fight at gentlemen who are there, also behind the building, he's added a new angle, and you're going to see what kind of effect it has. He's putting meaty shots into the T32. That's what the T34 is really good for. This is a tier 8 premium heavy tank. And as you can see, he's putting shot after shot into the enemy. So the enemy really don't know what they're doing right now. They're thinking, well, should we fall back? Some of them look like they want to fall back and falter. The enemy turn their turrets to face HG here, Heavy Guy. And when they do that, they allow his team to basically shoot them in the side of the turret. There we go, bye-bye T32. Heavy Guy's first kill. So he's playing very well here. He's looking up. He's looking when the enemies are aiming at him. He's popping up, and he's using the excellent turret armor on the T34. Why he wants to pressure the T34 there and not take the clean kill on the IS-3, he was thinking about it, but then he went for the clean hit on the IS-3. I think he's very focused on trying to finish these tanks off, which is a good option. So now the IS-3s are really panicking. They do not know what's going on. The enemy T-34 puts a good shot in there. Let's see where he hit him. He hit him on the cheeks. That's a very valid shot to be firing at against the T-34. The cheeks are very weak, as you can see. Oh, that was a bit unlucky. Should have had the kill there on the IS-3. Only tracking damage. So while this fight is going on the hill, the enemy team are mopping out a few people on the hill and a few people below. He puts a big shot there into the IS-3, leaving him on 2 health. How unlucky is that? That's gotta suck. He's aiming for the cupola. I have to say that was the weakest shot that I've seen HG fire so far. He really could have angled a bit better to be able to put a shot off, but he fired clutch hoping that he would go through the turret of the T-34. He goes up and finishes off that IS-3 that he left on 2 health earlier. So now he's hunting the other one. He aims that perfectly at the front plate, which when angled is very easy to penetrate, especially with the monster penetration that you get with the T-34. And there you go, he aims well for the lower plate to go up. The enemy pulls back. Doesn't matter, I've got you anyway, Mr. IS-3. So, this is hard to believe, but Heavy Guy here has got 5,000 damage, just under 5,000 damage done already in the first 5 minutes of the game. That is monster. But somehow, his team are still even on kills. Oh, this is what you have to do to try and carry your 40%ers, as Heavy Guy is showing us here. 5,000 damage, and the kills are still even. Each team with 7 remaining tanks at the moment. So Heavy Guy must be thinking like, what do I need to do? He's basically taken out 3 tier 8 heavy tanks completely by himself. In damage respect. Of course he wasn't by himself because he had his teammates firing with him. But effectively, he killed 3 whole tier 8 heavy tanks, like 100% of their health with the amount of damage that he's done so far. So he's just poking. What he's thinking right now is, okay, there's a Tiger 2 down at the church. There he is. Aiming. Okay, I'll fire it clutch. It's pretty bold. But he makes the kill, that's what matters. And still 6 tanks remaining on either side. Now his team are very focused up on the hill here. They don't really have very much cap control. But that's okay right now. This is an encounter, so it's very hard to rush the cap. I'm sure that Heavy Guy is thinking that as well. And what he's doing is he's basically deciding, okay, 3 of the enemy tanks were spotted in the south. Now there's also 1 capping. I probably know now where 2/3 of the enemy are. And here we go. He saw where the enemy were coming up from the southern flank. Now he's going to put some pressure on them. Aiming at the IS-6. Great shot. Still even on kills, 5 tanks left on either side. And oh my, he's found where the enemy T-34 is. There's a full health Tiger 2 there. He's aiming his shot. We can see the very low aim time in the T-34. He makes a very large hit on the Tiger 2 there, rolling for 448. Gotta love this 120mm on the T-34. And secures the kill. Wow. Heavy Guy's already on a top gun. And 6,000 damage in a T-34. That is not small plays. He sees the enemy just got spotted. Now they've been respotted. He's aiming for the Carnarvon. That was quite lucky. I think he's maybe getting a bit excited. He sort of flinched a little bit there with the shot. Didn't really put it over the center of the tank, which is where you should probably be aiming for. Again, I'm not sure where he's aiming for. Maybe he thinks that he can only penetrate the tracks on the Carnarvon here, and he's aiming for the known weak point on the tracks. In my opinion, it'd be far better to just aim at the lower plate right now. He was quite lucky with the accuracy of the T-34 that he didn't waff the shots. 50% of the time, the shot would have gone slightly right, and he would have missed the target completely. I think maybe if he'd aimed over the central plate, he would have had a better chance to hit. But looks like the gods are with him, the RNG gods are with him, and he finished off the Carnarvon. So wow, he's still against 3 enemy tanks, even though he's got his top gun. He's done just shy of 7,000 damage now. It's unbelievable. I'm just going to speed the game up a little bit here. So what Heavy Guy must be thinking here is, how can I dig the enemy out? We know where the T-34 is. Not sure where the VK is. Or the Jagdpanzer. Now the VK has got 3 kills already. So he's not sure whether the VK will be high on health or low on health. What he's doing is he's playing cautiously here. He wants to let his IS-3 get into position. He is quite low on health, so if he was to get shot by the T-34 and the VK-4502A, he would die. So he's letting the IS-3 do the work, get into position, and then when he knows more about what the engagement is, he's going to move up just like this. The IS-3 in position, he will get some fire support, but he also knows that you have to advance as a team. He couldn't leave the IS-3 alone by himself. He also isn't sure whether he's going to get flanked, possibly by the VK. He last spotted the T-34 at D6, and it looked like the T-34 was coming round the ridge, and there you go. The T-34 is trying to ambush him. Looks like the T-34 had 6th sense, but fortunately for Heavy Guy, he spotted him first. Oh, be careful! Nearly went into the drink there, but it wouldn't have really mattered. He'd been able to escape. But great kill to take out the T-34. He stays hull down, just in case. And whoa, get another tell on the enemy here. The enemy have started to cap. I really think that's a poor decision by the enemy. They really shouldn't be capping at this point. Telling the enemy where you are right now is not a good idea, especially with Heavy Guy on. 7 kills there, and an IS-3 with quite a lot of health left. So again, he's waiting for the IS-3 to make the spot so that he can help out. He keeps poking. He does have 6th sense on this tank, so he knows he's not spotted yet. He's poking again. He doesn't know what's capping. It could be the Jagdpanzer, it could be the VK. If it's the Jagdpanzer, he's going to have very good gamma rating. So he's using these bushes, this bush line. But there was a gap in the bush, and there we go, he spotted. The VK thought the T-34 was going to come from his east. Heavy Guy fires quite clutch. Angles his armor at 45 degrees, tries to get hull down. Well, the VK bounces his shell. Really caught out in the open. He had full health at the start of this engagement. And Heavy Guy puts in another meaty shot. VK's been reduced to half health. Now is trying to fight on 2 flanks. It's really not a situation you want to be in. Oh, great shot there. 300 health. And down to 2 remaining AP shells. Heavy Guy slams in the shot, securing the 8th kill in the game. Now, right now, it's really touch and go. There's just over 2 minutes left in the game. And they should know now that they can't cap. They need more time than 2 minutes for 2 of them to encap on encounter. So they have to find this Jagdpanzer. Let's just speed it up a little bit. T-34 so slow, and oh, thank goodness for them, they found the Jagdpanzer. He aims the shot, doesn't fire clutch, the Jagdpanzer gets set on fire. Oh, what did that IS-3 fire? An HE shell? How did he only do 417 damage even though he set him on fire? He must have fired an HE shell at him. So now Heavy Guy must be thinking, surely we can't lose this. I'm on 8 kills and I've done over 8,000 damage. Don't do it to me, Lord. Don't do it to me. And thank goodness the IS-3 goes in to finish him off. Great result. What a game in a 42%er. Let's take a look at some post-game stats. So here we go. Here's HGJWZ. I said your name there properly again. And his fantastic result in the T-34. This 3070 is a non-double with premium. As you can see here, his non-premium experience was over 2,000. He picked up the Radley Walters, of course the Top Gun, and he also got a Defender medal, doing 80 base defense points. Impressively, he hit every shot that he fired, even though he fired quite a few clutch, and he also fired some dubious shots in my opinion, but it's very opinionated. Hitting 29 out of 29, penetrating 27, absolute monster result. He damaged 12 members of the enemy team. He killed 8 and damaged 4. That's just simply incredible. And he got over 203,000 credits. And that's non-event. There was no event credits. That was pure. After all the ammunition that he fired, he made 168,000 credits profit. That's just simply insane. So quickly looking at his stats, over 8,000 damage, that is huge, especially in a T-34, which has very low DPM. He played this tank fantastically. He got hull down, he always kept his frontal armor to the enemy, and he kept firing. Fair enough, he got a bit lucky with his shots sometimes, but this was an absolutely monstrous game. He finished with a fair amount of health left, but still took nearly 3,000 potential damage. He did very little spotting, as you usually get with the T-34. It's more or less a support tank, or you're controlling your engagement. You're not usually really a scout in the T-34, getting 686 damage upon detection. Again, the Defender medal, 80 base defense points, and he traveled nearly 3 kilometers in this game. What was impressive about this game for me is that you can see so many of his tier 8 tanks did nothing, and quite a few of them did barely anything. If we order it by damage, there are only 4 members of his team that did over 1,000, even though there were so many tier 8 tanks in this game. Yeah, when we look at the enemy team, there are only 6 tanks which did less than 1,000. Really, this was an example of a pure hyper carry, if I can call it that. He really dominated the game. He won the hill, and even though he was winning the hill so hard, his team lost the lower ground. And then he decided, okay, I've won the hill. Now I'm going to go down and own it up down there as well. Simply amazing work, and it's very, very impressive. Big shout out to you, HGJWZ. I'm not sure if you created that name just to give people like me trouble saying it, but this was a fantastic game, and thank you so much for submitting your replay, dude. So guys, now you've seen a tank with fantastic gun depression, how about seeing a tank that doesn't have fantastic gun depression? So here we have Necrocodile playing in his IS-2. This is the Chinese tier 7 heavy tank, and we can see that, wow, great matchup for this tank, really interesting. There's basically only 3 tanks on the enemy team, which are not tier 7, including 1 artillery. It's going to be an absolute brawler of a game. It's on Severgosk, and again, it's a 51%er. So this might give you an idea of the fact that to get your really, really high experience games, generally you have to be top tier. Also, you have to have a team which is bad and an enemy that is fairly bad as well. Also, there has to be a lot of health on the enemy team. Let's just speed up the game a little bit. Severgosk is the new 8.6 map. Or 8.7, I should say there, actually. It's not the new 8.6 map. So he's taking a fairly standard location here. A T8. One thing about the IS-2 is that unlike the T-34, it does not have very good gun depression at all. So he's made the initial spot. He's immediately allowed his team on the other side to get some shots off. Here we go, he's going to take his opportunity while he has it. I got time, I'm going to aim fully. And then IS-2 has 378 less health. So Nick here sees the enemies coming down. Alright, there's an Su-85, he's 1 hit. Have some of that. Oh man, such a troll platoon on the enemy team there. 2 tier 5s. Actually, sorry, 1 tier 4 and a tier 5 signed up with a tier 7 heavy. But one thing he's doing here which is very interesting is that he's not getting overconfident right now. And as we can see just purely how bad the gun depression here is on the IS-2. It's completely unable to get effective shots down onto that T-29 who's below him. He's trying to do his best to try and find the angle of approach. He sees the cupola, and he fires clutch, but it wasn't to be. So the enemy T-29 has reversed into a position where now he can engage him. So Nick goes forwards, but pulls back, deciding that I have no business engaging that T-29. And that's something that I can learn from. Quite often, I will just go, oh, I'm going to tunnel vision and get this guy, that's it. What Nick decided there is, you know what? I don't need to be doing this right now. Why would I want to go against the T-29 with his amazing turret armor when he can hide behind that tank? You know what? I'm just going to go back up here and deal with these guys. Nice, free, easy damage. And that's something that, yeah, I can definitely learn from. So he's aiming here at the IS. Great shot, 439 alpha damage. Gotta love these Russian and Chinese 122 millimeters. So his team are down 4 tanks. This game is in complete parallel to the last game, where you saw HG basically do 5,000 damage in the first 5 minutes. This game has developed quite slowly, but I really think that Nick is a very much more of a passive player than the last gentleman that we had the pleasure of watching. So here we can see he's using this Jagdpanzer who's died in a ridiculous location to shoot underneath the Jagdpanzer. He's being very opportunistic, but unfortunately now his team are down 5 tanks. He fires clutch there at the IS. Unable to penetrate him. Now this is a much better opportunity. Have the side of the IS-2. Yep, goes in. So right now, it's him and this IS basically holding up this entire flank. His team are now down 6 tanks. It's 6 versus 12 currently. And 2 of the people on the enemy team are dead with the tier 5s. So, really, those 2 weren't ever going to do anything in this game anyway. So for all intensive purposes, only 1 player on the enemy team has died. That's crazy. So some skillful reverse work here, but finding out again the IS-2 has no gun depression, really have to angle your tank upwards to finish off the T-43 there in style. So the scores are starting to even up a little bit now, there's only 5 tank difference. Albeit still being outnumbered 2-1 when there's also an artillery on either side is not a situation that I would want to find myself in. But Nick's going to deal with it. He's remaining quite calm. He's looking after his own health. He's a bit lucky in a way that he hasn't been shot by the Hummel yet. But really he's policing this corner really well. I was very impressed by how he was policing his area, so to say. Basically said that I'm just going to keep fighting out from here. And this position I would fully recommend to a lot of people. I think that we can all learn from this position that it can be quite influential on Severgosk. And it's a position that I've been learning a lot more recently if you've been watching my live stream with Jingles and with Ektar. So he fires there at the Tiger Peace turret. Sorry, that's just a regular Tiger. It's a bit unlucky that maybe it didn't go in. And this is a great dodge. That's a great dodge. That Tiger got completely confused there, fires one in. His gun gets taken out by the Tiger. And I think his own artillery did a little bit of team damage to him there. Makes the kill on the Tiger. He's firing some heat rounds now because he feels very pressured. And fair enough, his team have started to back him up a little bit more. The AMX M4 45 got a great shot off there across the valley, helping him out. His health still isn't doing too badly. There you go. Put another big shot into the IS-2, and wow, his team's starting to come good. It's like they're coming at him from all angles, and his team is starting to finally back him up. Now there are only 2 tanks behind. He's on a killing spree at the moment. So is that the original? That's the original T-29. The one that we were talking about at the start of the game. It's hard to believe really that that T-29 has just been lurking around there. So again, Nick Crocodile is basically remaining quite chill. He knows, alright, there's still a lot of enemy tanks. Don't get ahead of myself here. Maybe I've done 3,000 damage and done a lot of spotting for my team. It's not over yet. So he takes a quick look at what hit him in the side there. Puts a great shot into the IS here. And jukes another one and the IS misses his shot. Then the IS gets hit by the AMX. And oh, that one could have rolled higher, couldn't it? Oh dear, but thankfully the AMX saves him. Some great teamwork here. So the enemy T-29 was thinking, alright, that IS had full health, I can do this. And very quickly, that T-29, the battle completely changed. There we go, he puts another big shell into the T-29, reducing him to 37 health. I'm pretty sure that maybe Nick here was thinking kind of, maybe I can get a bit lucky. T-29 missed his shot. Nick fires one clutch at the top. But at that angle, it's probably going to ricochet. But again, his team backs him up. Now it's completely even. Now what must the enemy team be thinking that they have to do right now? Nick Crocodile has been absolutely dominating this eastern flank with absolutely fantastic play. Doing over 4,000 damage in a tier 7 tank, that's a big carry so far. And a lot of spotting damage as well. So now we can see that the enemy are descending upon Nick Crocodile's friends. He goes very carefully down this slope. are wanting to get hit at the moment, or damaged, or even tracked. The enemies start to make short work of that of his friendly T-29. The T-29 gives him one just before he goes down. And that's great. That means that both of these tanks are usually going to be a one hit for the IS-2 with its 122mm cannon. Now, one thing that's interesting is the AMX M445, who has still got 682 health, is going after the Hummel. So Necrocodile must be not worried about that Hummel right now, thinking, okay, the Hummel's not going to engage me. Whatever. You handle the Hummel, AMX M4 1945, and I'll deal with these two tanks. So the AMX just took 100 damage from the Hummel. Okay, that's fine. It's all good. Down to 512 health. Don't worry, Necrocodile, I've got your back. Don't worry about the artillery right now. And Necrocodile fires a clutch shot there into the IS-2, but only rolls for 344. And oh god, the Hummel somehow just did 225 damage to the AMX. Necrocodile aims his shot in, takes out the IS-2 there, even though he low rolled. And oh god, I don't know what just happened. I think the Hummel, yeah, the Hummel destroyed himself firing at the AMX. But took out the AMX as well. Okay, well, at least the Hummel is dead and he won't be shooting in. So the IS puts in a nice shot there. He's not using the top gun, but that was a great shot there into Nick. And puts in another great shot. And oh god, he's got him tracked right up in the open. Fortunately, Necrocodile has a very good repair crew by the looks of it, and puts the track back on very quickly. If he hadn't, he would have probably lost the game. And oh god, the IS is playing fantastic with that smaller gun, and puts Nick down to 1 health. Oh my god. And right now, Necrocodile's just going, alright Hummel, you deal with it, man. I'm not messing around with that guy anymore. And what fantastic work there, good synergy. Now he's got to be thinking, okay, where's the T-29? Oh gosh, he's spotted in base. Oh no. What a disappointing end to a fabulous game. Yeah, that's right. This T-29 scumbag was AFK. Now one thing guys, what I will say, I'm just going to pause the video here. When you're engaging bots, one thing that you must do is be very careful, because sometimes the bots are programmed as soon as they get attacked to start randomly shooting, or start shooting at the person, they start shooting at the direction that the shots came from. So when you're engaging bots, you still want to think as if they're going to start to just zerg towards you. So what Necrocodile does here is basically he just shoots, and then he starts going forwards. For all he knows, that T-29 could have been, so to say, a smart bot, and turned around and nailed him. And to be fair, that's a disappointing way to get your top gun in still a fantastic game that Necrocodile played. Now let's take a look at the post-game stats. So here we can see that Necrocodile picked up his mastery badge in this tank. What a fantastic result. Getting 3,298 experience with non-events, without a double with his premium account. Non-premium, this was a 2,198 game. That's simply massive, especially in a tier 7 heavy. Also in a tank that maybe you wouldn't think was one of the best, the IS-2. Now the reason why Necrocodile was able to do so fantastically here is that he got a patrol duty medal. As you can see here, he did 2,600 spotting damage. You remember there was a point in the game where he was so far behind, the enemy outnumbered him 2-1. And they were coming at him from all angles, but he kept his cool, focused on the tanks that were important. His teammates helped him out, and that's why he got the patrol duty medal. And that's one of the reasons why he got such a fantastic experience result, including 130,000 credits in a non-premium tank. That is simply massive. If we look at the enemy team, we can see that most of them did a fairly good amount of damage, and the difference between the teams was Necrocodile's fantastic near 5,500 damage top gun and patrol duty medals. One thing I just noticed is the Necrocodile must have been firing quite a few heat rounds, which in this tank do have overpowered penetration at the moment. Next patch, this penetration with the heat ammo has been reduced from 300 to 250. So maybe this result was slightly dubious, but I'm still going to take nothing away from it. This was a fantastic game when the crocodile was found overwhelmed by the enemy, but he stood his ground and he aimed at what he needed to do and took them out one by one with the support of his team. Absolutely fantastic result. Thank you so much for submitting your replay, and I hope that all of you guys enjoyed this. So this was the first part of the two honorable mention heavy videos that I'm going to be releasing. Did you guys enjoy this? Do you guys want to see more replays of this kind of quality? If so, consider rating the video down below. I'd really appreciate it. And tell me in the comments, what do you think about these kind of results? Do you think that they're basically just fortunate because of the way that the game's developed, that they were kind of playing against basic level players? Do you think that negates the fantastic achievement that they got, or do you think this is still a fantastic achievement within its own right? I personally still think that this is a fantastic achievement. I haven't had a game like this. Maybe I just haven't been lucky enough. But I think that basically my playstyle is completely different. And I think that within their games, this is what was needed to win. And there can be no doubt that these games would have been lost without both of these gentlemen being in there being absolute heroes. So guys, just again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Keep an eye out for my future heavy runner-up video. Well, not runner-up, but we're going to call it honorable mention. I've got some very exciting footage of a Black Prince and a 110 tank absolutely wrecking the game. Thanks a lot, you've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.